Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 429. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here, finally, with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
I'm back. I'm tan. I'm refreshed.
Oof.
I'm
jealous.
A lot fatter than I was before. So I'm doing good. Please, can I give out like a little precursor? I had no internet access. My phone was off for the entire cruise. Paige was the one that had the Wi-Fi, and that was mainly just to like be able to check in with family and stuff. That's it. Your boy has had like no influx of data or information or Twitter scroll or anything about baseball. Nothing. No updates, no nothing.
No games watched?
The TV in the room had like 14 channels. 2 of them were ESPN Caribbean. The good old Caribbean version. A lot of soccer on there. What I watched, as far as sports go, I got the second half of the first round of the NFL draft from like pick 14 and up. I got like 1/4 of the Nuggets Lakers game 5. And that's it. Yeah, just that's
what a well-rounded sports experience. So yeah. 14 channels. I'm guessing MLB TV package was not included.
It wasn't included. Yeah, I tried. I asked our boy Roel. Roel was our steward for our floor. He didn't know. He didn't know what was up. That was it, man. They did have like a pub on there, like a sports bar, but like not a lot of baseball going on. Not much. Sad. But nice, let me tell you. To unplug your phone, dude, to like not even have it on. One thing that is very difficult, however, one thing you wouldn't think about going in with that plan. What are you supposed to do when you're pooping?
You read the shampoo bottles like we did when we were kids.
Tough. I'm trying to figure out what I did before a smartphone. What was I doing?
I just told you. You read the shampoo bottles that are on the ledge of the tub.
I can't live that life. I did. I did bring a book, so I read some book, but like it's not easy.
Well,
I think I've trained my body to not release what needs to be released until I'm scrolling through something.
That's fair. Well, a lot happened while you were gone. Last episode, for those that were watching, I spent the first 10 minutes with the robot voice effect on, so that was fun.
Sure.
Nobody thought to bring it to my attention until we're like 15 minutes deep, so I had to run that back. But it's good to have you back. Good to have you back talking some ball. Got a lot to cover today. Got to talk some Mike Trout. We got to talk some bees. Got to talk a little scuffle, a little throwing hands between the Brewers and the Rays. The Phillies are hot. Twins are hot. One could even say the Ray City Connects are a little hot. Who knows? We'll get there. Time will tell. And then we got to talk some weekend series coming up. But let's start off with some Mike Trout talk.
Yep.
Mike Trout needs knee surgery for a torn meniscus. The poor guy didn't even know when it happened. Like we're at the stage in Mike Trout's career where he doesn't even know. He's like, this is how I feel all the time. What are you talking about? I don't have a torn meniscus.
Sir, you don't have a meniscus.
Sir, there's not an existing ligament in your body. I'm not sure what you're talking about. No, look, for real, I've done some real soul searching the last 24 hours with the Mike Trout thing. And it's sad. It really is. Like, jokes aside, talking points aside, narratives aside, it's really, I had a moment when I'm sitting there thinking about this Mike Trout thing, and I'm going, this has been such a running joke for so long, but there was the understanding that we were still going to have more Mike Trout. Like, yeah, the dude is just a walking injury, but legitimately, we're getting close. We're not there yet, but we're getting close to the point of we need to appreciate Mike Trout while he's still here, because we're going to spend so much time running these jokes into the ground that we're going to miss him. He's going to cruise right on by into retirement. And that's going to be a sad place to be.
Yeah, I know. It is sad. I was thinking about it. Second this news came out, I remember a quote graphic that you put out for me maybe 2 years ago. And I said specifically, this is Ken Griffey Jr. 2.0. This is what we're getting. And I got a lot of heat. Caught a lot of flack, as most of my quote graphics do, and that's okay. That's fine. I'm a polarizing figure. I'll accept that. But it does suck. It's tough, man, because it's like, I think it's even harder nowadays because of how accessible all these games are. How we would love to have more accessible games, but compared to the Griffey era, we're able to see more baseball now more than ever. So like, we're able to get exposure to more of these players and teams and things like that where we didn't have that before. And I don't know. I think this one hits a little bit harder. This hits a little bit different. It's really unfair, dude. It's really unfair. And you feel for the guy and anyone that like, I don't understand like the talking noise on it. You know what I mean? Like the fans that are like almost, I won't say like hyped up, but they're like laughing at the situation as if like we're not now missing another portion of the greatest or one of the greatest players. But here's my issue. And I was thinking about this all day today. And I've said this before as well, and I'm going to just double down, put my chips in the middle of the table again. No more using GOAT with a current player. Stop doing that. Stop using that. And I've said it before, like, you don't know what the GOAT is until they're done. You don't know who it is. Can't be saying that. And ever since those conversations started up the last few years, it seems like this is just following a parallel story of injuries and bad Angels performances and lack of playoff appearances and all this stuff. It's super unfortunate, and it's not something I want to laugh about. So I don't know why like fans are like, haha, told you so kind of thing about it. I'd rather see him on the field. If you don't, I question how much of a baseball fan you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly glad, and it kind of dawned on me because I feel like that week was such a blur for us. But I was sitting here today as I was pulling some notes together, and I was thinking back on, I was like, man, will I even be able to say that I got to see Mike Trout play? And then you remember that, like on one of the biggest stages in baseball, that we got to see him in the World Baseball Classic, and he was on the field, he was healthy, and he contributed a great deal to that team,
right,
for that run. So that was certainly a blessing. I feel like when you look back to say that you at least saw him playing and contributing and performing at the highest level, all things considered, even with his injury history. But I don't know, man. Like when we're talking legacy, though, like I know you don't want to talk GOAT while he's still active. I understand that, and to be quite honest, it's not really a mystery with the injuries that have stacked up throughout his career. While the GOAT conversation was relevant and a possibility at one point in his career, we can't have that conversation anymore. You can say he's one of the greatest to ever play the game, because that's just.
He's still a Hall of Famer.
He's still a Hall of Famer. But when we're talking legacy, though, like how does this, like what is this guy's legacy going to be? Because I put out a tweet a while ago, or like a couple weeks ago, and it was pertaining to the legacy conversation. I said, I believe when it's all said and done, the baseball community will regret having wasted so much time arguing about Mike Trout's legacy instead of just appreciating how great he was. Ironically, I'm sitting here asking about his legacy, but of course, I tweeted that thinking that we might actually get a healthy Mike Trout, and not just that, but we might get a revenge season Mike Trout, or a redemption season Mike Trout, and he was well on his way. I mean, he's leading the league in home runs right now.
Right.
And so I was like, hey, I get it. It's an injury every season, it seems, but let's enjoy the tone behind that tweet was, let's enjoy this while we have it, instead of arguing and bickering about this guy's legacy. But now he's going to miss even more time. And so I feel like we have to at least beg the question while he's on the shelf, or it begs the question while he's still on the shelf.
I'm struggling to, like, I know in sports, like we think of similarities or players that kind of had like a similar history or path. And like, obviously like the easy connection is Ken Griffey Jr. The problem with that is that like Ken Griffey Jr. brought in a lot for African-American baseball players, wearing hats backwards, swaggy shoes, probably the prettiest left-handed swing we've ever seen. Like, you have some of these bigger things you can grab onto and hold on to. I'm struggling to find what it is for Trout. And then if we go like across sports, like Bo Jackson, you know what I mean? Like cut short super quickly on injury. Like, but at the same time, you think of Bo Jackson as like one of the greatest athletes ever because of being able to do it across different sports. I don't know if there's like a certain player that comes to mind. It's not, he's what, 31, 32. So it's not like it's over yet, but at the same time, I'm like, that used to be us growing up. That's a prime. Like, that's the prime we're used to. That's the prime we're used to seeing with players, is the 28 to 32 range. Now that players are getting in earlier, it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's happening earlier, and now we're seeing this happen more often where the careers are ending shorter. I don't know what the legacy is. And nothing against Trout and nothing against the way he plays, but we've joked about it before. It's super Wonder Bread style, man. Like, it's plain Jane. There's not a whole lot of style. There's not a whole lot of swag to it. It's just like, I'm going to show up and play ball every day. And that's a great thing to want to watch in certain ways. Like, if you have a kid growing up, you're like, you want him to watch and Mike Trout and play like that. But as far as a legacy that he's left, like a mark on the game, I don't know if I have a specific thing. I really can't think of a specific thing. can we look back and say, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer? Can we look back and say, yeah, he's a 5-tool guy? Yeah, like we can say this stuff, but like, did you transcend the game in different ways? For a short period, yeah. But like, are you a Mount Rushmore name? No. And I think that's what the difference is between him and Griffey. Like Griffey had these other factors. He had these other things that he did. You know what I mean? If Mike Trout would have won the World Baseball Classic on a walk-off grand slam and he had this moment that we can like reflect on, maybe. But when you talk about the Angels never being in the postseason, him never getting appearances, you're just talking regular season numbers. You're going to sit here and say the numbers could have been better if he stayed healthy. It's like, I don't know what the legacy is. The legacy is what could have been, but like I have nothing specific to grab onto. I can't look at Mike Trout and say like, you know, that's the prettiest swing I've ever seen. That's the fastest guy I've ever seen. That's the best center fielder I've ever seen. There's just nothing to grab onto, you know? That's what's missing for me.
No, that's a fair point. But I think for people that grew up watching Mike Trout, like ourselves, I think this is going to be a classic example where we look back, we're telling our kids, we're telling our grandkids, like, hey, I know the numbers weren't necessarily there. Like, yeah, WAR, you can look at that. You can look at batting averages year to year. You can look up when he was healthy, how many home runs he's putting up, whatever you want to look at. But I think this is going to be one of those instances like our parents and grandparents did over the years where they're like, hey, you may not think, like you may see like black and white videos of this guy, but he was the real deal. You may not see it. You may not understand it, but we saw him. He was the real deal. And I think with Mike Trout, it's going to be the same way. It's like, hey, I know the guy couldn't stay on the field for more than half a season for just about every season, it seems. But when he was on, he was the best player in baseball.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird dynamic, man. It's hard. It's sad. And again, that's why I want to be able to take advantage and soak up the Mike Trout time that we still have left before we get into the Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera territory where it's just a name on the back of the jersey and you're wondering, okay, when are we cutting ties here to clear up a roster spot? Because that will be a sad day.
Yeah, it will be. Moving forward, I'm interested to see how he's treated. Does he slide into like a full-time DH? Does that kind of change the style of his play? Does he slide into right field? Like, I'm just interested to see how he's treated moving forward. I think I do feel for the guy just of like how emotional you saw that he was in the press conference. Like,
I've got that. I've actually got that. I'm glad you mentioned. I've got that queued up for us right here.
Just frustrating. We'll get through it.
Did you feel during the game last night?
It's crazy because I look back, I'm like, I don't even know when I did it. Third inning, after the inning was over, I was running in to the dugout. And I felt like a little bit of an ache in my knee, like not like serious ache. I was like, oh, that was weird. Didn't think anything of it. And then was hitting, running, didn't feel nothing. You know, scoring from second, nothing. It was just like after when I did activity, I sat down and I got back up. That's when I started feeling it. And I mentioned something in like the 7th, 8th inning to the guys in there, just to give them a heads up, like just to make sure, you know, it wasn't not crazy. You know, it was just one of them things. Like my body was like, I wasn't feeling it hitting, I wasn't feeling it running. It was just sore, just kind of like I was kind of telling myself like maybe I just banged it on something and I didn't realize it. And then after the game, getting treatment, it was really sore. The plan was just to see how I felt in the morning. If you woke up and it was sore, just get it looked at. That was the plan. Last night was tough for me to sleep. It was just aching all night. Woke up, I texted Frosty first thing and just said, I think I need to just get this looked at. Just trying to clear my mind a little bit.
You can tell, man. Like, you can hear it. And it's I think that goes with the style of play, the Wonder Bread accusation, or not accusations, but like the narrative that we've had is like, you're kind of boring, you're not super swaggy, but like
the image we've built up.
Right. But like that is perfectly describing the fact that he just cares about ball. Like there isn't anything else he cares about. He's not worried about anything else. He just cares about playing. So you can feel the emotion based on like everyone feels that way about him. Everyone recognizes that about him. Because that's what he is. He's just a ball player. He's hurting.
In my soul searching that I've been doing, that I mentioned since this news broke. And ultimately he's not missing the rest of the season. Like he's the thing to keep.
I'm not buying that.
Yes and no. I'm with you. You were the first person I thought of when I saw the timetable come back. They said, it said best case scenario 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going, that's not going to happen. One, because that's best case scenario. Two, it's more likely going to be months. But even that's probably not true, because then you take into account that it's the Angels. So realistically, we're talking like maybe like late summer, early fall. All that to say, though, assuming we get Mike Trout back, that's its own thing. In my soul searching that I was talking about, I came to the realization, I'm like, Mike Trout, for the duration of time that his career has kind of come under fire for these various injuries or whatever, and I don't want to say his character, but just his reputation around the league, I guess you could say. It's been so easy to use a guy like this for clicks, for engagement, to kick him while he's down, to take advantage of running with this injury narrative. And we're guilty of it too. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. We are absolutely guilty of that, because it's just so easy. It's something that you could almost count on every opening day. At some point, if he's not hurt on opening day, you can almost count on the fact that he was going to be hurt at some point during that season. But I'm at a point now where I would legitimately trade any engagement numbers, any brownie points, any little sound bites that we were able to take advantage of. And not just us, but really the baseball world. I would trade all of those conversations and numbers away just so we could watch a healthy Mike Trout again. Like the trade-off just hasn't been worth it. And I don't want to be throwing ricochets at this guy, but you take a guy like Alek Manoah, another guy where it's really easy to run with the engagement numbers, to pick and to cherry pick some quotes of his and make a quote graphic out of it. Or just if you're like if you're not a podcaster or you're not a sports person and you're just at the bar or whatever, like chatting it up, it's easy to get like a one-liner in with your buddy at the bar. But a guy like Alek Manoah, the difference is that he's not Mike Trout. Mike Trout's career and his trajectory and the expectations that were set before him and the expectations that he surpassed are far greater than anybody else that's going to fall into that category of guys that are easy to manipulate for engagement numbers or whatever you want to call it. So that's why it's been a little tougher this go around, because like I said, we finally saw a glimpse of vintage Mike Trout this year, only to have that cut short yet again by injuries.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm not. I like that, Spencer. Freeze Trout in a time capsule, only bringing him back for the WBC. Big fan of that. Totally fine with that.
And then put him back in the time capsule for the final at bat of the finals.
Yeah.
If it gets to that,
Yeah.
we'll find somebody else to slot in. But
yeah, dude, it's. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. I'm sad. I feel for the guy. I understand it's a part of the game, but I don't know, man. Like I said, moving forward, I just don't know what we're gonna get out of him. It's never gonna be like the MVP threat that we're used to. I think those days are gone, and I don't want to ride this, like you said earlier, the Albert Pujols, Miguel Cabrera train, where it's like, well, at this point, you're just like, you're large and you're out of shape, and your heels never come off the ground and you run. Like, I don't want to watch that. So come back for a couple years, do what you can do, and then like call it quits, man. Don't let it linger too long. You never want to see your heroes get old, you know?
just give me 120 games. I know that's asking a lot, but like I'm not asking for a fully healthy season. Just give me 120 games.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't buy we talked about it before. I don't buy the timetable. What was it? Last year or the year before, you had a calf injury and it was like, 2 weeks. Like, so 3 months have gone by and still no Mike Trout. So
well, I mean, you think back to Rendon, the report was that he like stubbed his pinky toe, and then the reports come out later and he's like, I basically had to
tear.
I had to amputate my leg. I was close to amputating my leg. I'm not sure why the team didn't tell you that. So I don't know if there's like a joint medical staff that works for both the Yankees and the Angels.
Probably.
But it sounds like they're in cahoots with one another. So I don't know.
I don't know if Ipe is still translating the two.
I don't know what's going on between these two organizations, but I will say, from this point forward, I decided I'm going to become one of the strongest Mike Trout defenders because
all right,
I'm just tired of the noise. Like you were saying, I'm tired of hearing the noise. I'm tired of hearing like the clapbacks. I was like, yes, it's established. He's injury prone. We get it. But I'm at a point now with my Mike Trout fandom that I'm going to focus more on his resume that he's accumulated thus far, sans injuries, because it's a resume worth looking at, and it's a career worth reflecting on, because the guy, despite missing seemingly half the games every season, has still put up a Hall of Fame worthy career, which is impressive in and of itself. And I think I came to the decision that at some point between now and probably when he retires, I think I'm going to commit to a Trout World Baseball Classic jersey. I got my Trey Turner one on right now, but I think I'm going to.
I know. I had the Trout one, and then
You had it in hand.
I swapped it for Arenado, so.
How are you feeling about that decision? You've always been a Nolan guy. I'll give you that.
I love Nolan. I don't dislike Trout in any way. He's just not like, I don't know. Nolan playing third base is like that's the legacy for me for Nolan. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
That's fair. A little love here from Bridge Bucktober Podcast. Welcome back, Nate.
Gracias. Raise it.
I did have a note here to mention the Stephen A. Smith comments on Mike Trout, but it's really not even worth bringing up.
My guy just doesn't know baseball.
No. The guy is comparing a sport where load management is literally a welcomed term.
Yeah.
In basketball. He's comparing that to baseball where they play 162 games. My friend, please take a seat. Dodgers D-backs delayed by bees.
Wild.
Nearly 2 hours, man.
Yeah, my little sister was at the game. She sent me a video yesterday. That she like pans up to the scoreboard and it's like the game is delayed due to bees. Trying to figure it out.
So makes sense of it because we literally were just talking about it. We were out there in Phoenix for the World Baseball Classic. We caught a handful of games there. I read somewhere in some article where it credited the open roof last night to the bees, and I'm going, that makes sense, but also that doesn't make any sense because, can I be honest with you? I didn't really know bees could fly that high.
I don't think they can.
You're telling me they're going up and over
I don't think so.
the retractable roof?
I don't buy
up,
that either.
Up, over, and in? They got to be coming in through another way.
Yeah, I think they made it in a different way. What brought them there? That's what I want to know.
Was it the D-back dog? They were trying to grab a D-back dog?
Trash. What did I have there the last time? I think it was like green chili fries. Pretty good. Not the D-back dog, though. My dad had that. And he kept burping. And I was like, this is why I didn't get one.
Just radioactive.
It's gross. I don't know, dude. What brought him in there? We don't even we have bees here, but like, I didn't think it was like that big of a thing.
I didn't think it was like an epidemic in Phoenix. I don't know what that's all about.
How many bees there were?
It was a lot because I was watching the clip. Or no, I pulled up a picture at first because this was before everything started circulating. Like somebody had, or I guess they had taken a screenshot from the broadcast and somebody had tweeted it out. And I showed it to Meredith and she was like, oh, wow, like it's kind of small though. And I was like, hold on. I pulled up the video and it was like zoomed in and you could see how large those things were. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, totally get it. That's massive. And that it explained why they'd cleared out the whole section behind home plate. But that's not
about it. Like, why are you randomly like? Who was the queen? Just like, yo, this wire looks really good. Let's get there, and then everyone followed. Like, what's the plan there?
Yo, these seats behind home plate, super dope. Let's
snag these. Yeah.
Let's load up. No, but really the highlight of the evening was the removal process. A Matt Hilton was called, interrupted at his son's T-ball game. And it was the Diamondbacks. I have so many questions for this whole process. Gets a call from the D-backs. Says, you know why I'm just imagining this is how the conversation went. Hey, you know who this is. You know why we're calling you. You know what you need to do. And then 45 minutes later is pulling up to Chase Field.
Like Superman. Coming out of the phone booth with his beehive.
Puts on the suit and hops on his little escalator thing and they crank it on up and he just starts going to work. First of all, why this guy? Why not call somebody downtown? I read that the guy lives in Surprise. You obviously know that area very well.
Tough, really?
Yeah, he lives in Surprise.
It's not close.
Says it was nearly a 45-minute drive from to downtown. You're telling me they couldn't have called somebody in, well, I don't know, Chandler or somewhere even
Scottsdale,
closer than that?
Yeah. Tough, man. That's crazy. I was thinking, honestly, outside of probably the birth of his children and his wedding, that had to be the best day of his life.
No more, not even 24 hours later, he has his own Topps autograph card.
No way. Really?
I'm dead serious. And I saw that and I literally replied to it. And I was like, well, that didn't take long because I knew that Topps fanatics, whoever, they were going to jump at the opportunity to monetize this. I'm like, okay, go figure. I mean, I'm super happy for the guy, but I think he needs to just dive headfirst into this 15 minutes of fame and just do whatever he can to maximize this.
Was excellent. Hyping up the crowd. Getting them going. The first pitch, like where you like flip the hood off. I was like, dude, you were living this.
Well, that was another question I had about this whole thing. Did they not have a first pitch lined up before? Like, did they just tell whoever
That's what I was
it was?
wondering.
Like,
I wonder if they were like, nah, you got to go. Like, sorry.
we'll give you a Dodger dog and you can throw out another first pitch. But tonight, this is B man's night.
Yeah, you got to go. I think the softest person in this entire situation was Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah.
Game didn't even start.
Scratched due to bees.
Get out of here.
Well,
bro.
I mean, I get it. I agree with you.
Start.
Yeah, but these guys are running through their pregame routines like well in advance. So I can understand if you do. You know how that whole start and stop, get the jacket on. You know how that whole process goes. Yeah. And I don't think he was immune to it. I mean, nearly 2 hours. That's a long time.
Still soft.
I get it.
Your team is struggling, bro. You're brand new. Earn your stripes. You know?
I mean, the bees got him.
Bees got him. That's crazy, dude. To be able to and the fact that the man had a full-on press conference too. Like the guy got so much attention.
I mean, look, hey, credit to you want like I mentioned, you want to talk about looking for stories to jump on to get your clicks, man. Credit to Major League Baseball. We're a month into the season, a month plus into the season, and there has really not been a dry day thus far. It really
hasn't, yeah.
There is something, even if it's the smallest something, they're making it into something. So, good for Major League Baseball. They said, oh, got a little close there. We had to wait for a 10 o'clock game, but we found something. We pulled something out of today. So good for Major League Baseball for running with it and giving this guy his 15 minutes of fame.
It's a big day. Big day for business too. Hopefully he monetizes this. Hopefully there's more bee problems out there that he can go solve.
I saw that or read importantly a detail from this story that the bees were not killed, that they take good care of them. He was able to humanely evacuate them. I saw that he was vacuuming them up, which I thought was interesting.
I'll be honest, dude. Before I deleted it, just because I, was struggling with being on it too much, I was following this TikTok account that the dude just went around and did bee removal. And he would just go to houses or cut open sides of houses and put them away. It is insane to watch. They in normal situations, you go and look for the queen, and then they put him in this little cage. And then they put this cage in a box, and then all the bees just slowly funnel into this box. Obviously, he couldn't do that because he's 30 feet in the air, but that was pretty wild. I wonder what he sprayed him with. You see him spray him first so they couldn't fly?
I read that it was a non-pesticidal solution, and then they were taken off-site.
Big fan. Bees are good. We need bees.
Oh, no, they're fantastic.
We need bees.
They're quite literally keeping us alive. But just a pro's pro, man. I mean, the guy got there as quick.
He looked
got
good.
there as quick as he could, hyped up the crowd, made it entertaining for the people that had to wait around. Got his first pitch in.
They broke him in on the phone. They were like, "Hey, there's bees at Chase Field," or where they were like, "Hey, there's bees at Chase Field, hanging on the net behind our backstop." You know what I mean? Did that guy pull up to Chase Field and he's like, "All right, it must be a bathroom on the outskirts of the stadium or something"? Did he know that he was going to have 30,000 people just staring at him, cheering him on? What a day.
What a day, man. Making the most of it. It almost seems like it was planted. Just the way it happened. The guy, no chance you're hyping up the crowd like that if you're just some random Joe.
I know.
Is this like some sort of publicity stunt here? Like what's going on? It was too perfect of an event. The way everything went.
Yeah,
It was
any,
just too
any like reports of anyone getting stung?
insane.
You know?
Insane. I thought it would be interesting to get him on for an interview, but I figured he was going to be inundated. Apparently, people were calling the office that he worked for, or like that he works for,
Trying to get him.
So I'm like, again, the biggest takeaway though is why a guy that lived 45 minutes away. You're telling me there's not anybody else in the immediate area?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not on call like that. They picked the perfect man.
That's true. Yeah, I guess that's where the question should start and stop, is just the reality that they got their guy. They got the right guy.
How many beekeepers are on deck 24/7 in the freaking Phoenix metro area?
That's fair.
I've never even seen that many bees in the entire time I've lived here. So,
and not to mention, to reiterate, a beekeeper that doesn't poop his pants stepping in front of 20, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
And has the ability to hype him up. What a guy.
Well.
What a guy.
Well.
Love that. Don't love. Actually, no. I'm gonna be straight up. I love the Brewers Rays scuffle.
Me too.
Because, some hands were actually thrown for once.
I know.
How about that? Abner
Wasn't pretty,
Uribe.
though.
No, it was not pretty. It was on the level of like Bryce Harper helmet throw at Hunter Strickland. Ugly. Like that's kind of the territory they were encroaching on with this one. Not many punches landed. I kept seeing the word haymaker thrown around. Initially I thought it was, but then when you see the angle from the camera well down the first base line, you realize that Abner Uribe was actually trying to slap Jose Siri, which I'm like, can we not with the slaps, like just ball it up.
It was an ugly fight.
And let it eat. It seemed unnecessary, if I'm being honest. Like I'm cool with the hands being thrown instead of like the typical, like hold me back. Meanwhile, I'm like on the second step in the dugout.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad that at least some hands were thrown, but it just seemed unnecessary. Like Abner could have easily just walked back to the dugout. Jose Siri sort of had his head down. It looked like he was upset with the rollover. It looks like he could have just went back to his dugout and no words needed to be exchanged. But then it looks like Abner started jawing off. Jose Siri reciprocated, and then all comes unglued. It all stemmed from Siri's home run earlier in the game when he took Peralta deep.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I got the notification that it was Brewers Rays, and I didn't even need to see the name, and I knew Jose Siri was involved. I knew it. That guy is like this. I'm telling you, if he continues on this path, he's like the new Carlos Gomez. I think
that's a great comp. That's a great comp,
right? Like I feel like so many different guys have issues with him. I'm not surprised at all. It's just the way he pops off a lot to a lot of guys.
That's a great comp. And in lieu of, as we're transitioning to new equipment, I don't have the clap queued up on the soundboard yet.
That's okay.
So in lieu of claps,
I don't know if that's the same. It doesn't hit the same.
well, I mean, the Crickets are doing what they can for you, man. They're showing you the love that you deserve for that comp. That was a great comp. Yeah, like I think the most wild thing out of all of this was the suspensions.
Yeah.
That were handed down. I mean, 6 games.
appeal, drop it down to 3 or 4.
And we go on with our day.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta, or Abner Uribe had 6 games. Freddie Peralta had 5. Jose Siri, 3. Manager Pat Murphy with 2.
And then they said an undisclosed fine for everyone else. What does that even mean? Was it Reese Hoskins that was at first?
Dude,
Did you know
that
Dude
was
took
the
a
funniest
beating.
thing. Uribe's trying to go after Siri, and he's like, yo, bro, get out of my way. Like, and just pushes him to the ground. And Reese Hoskins is like,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised he didn't get, I'm surprised his hand didn't get
Like
pierced
spiked.
by a
Yeah.
spike.
He took a beating, dude. He got the worst of it, I think. A lot of flailing, though. I'm gonna need punches to be tightened up. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Andrew.
More
Appreciate
welcome
you,
back
dog.
love for Nate on the live stream. Shout out the
Feels
live
good.
stream.
Feels good.
I gotta say, the live stream is much better when it's Nate in addition to myself. And when it's just me, it's like, all right, when is this guy gonna shut up and stop talking about baseball? Glad to have you back. But yeah, I'm not, beggars can't be choosers, man. The hands were thrown, and
I know we've been asking for it. This is
So it's a
the only
start.
time. This is the only time benches need to clear. When punches are actually thrown. Otherwise, you're wasting my time.
But then, look, I just said beggars can't be choosers, but then you think about it and you're like, it's the Rays and Brewers. Like, what do we do? There's no animosity there whatsoever.
Yeah. Now there is.
Are they even going to see each other the rest of the year?
I don't know, it
No.
doesn't matter. Yeah. Maybe one of them would get traded.
And if this
each other
gets
again.
carried into 2025, come on. Be better. Be adults. Come on now. Hands were thrown, but like let's kick it up another notch. The Phillies have kicked it up to the highest notch. They were the first to 20 wins, which honestly kind of caught me by surprise. Like I knew they were doing well, but usually these benchmark wins that you hear throughout the season, like 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's like the teams you would think. Braves, Dodgers, so on and so forth. But the Phillies, I'm like, all right, man. I can dig it. I got accused of
digging the Phillies. Big surprise.
I got accused of being a quasi Philly fan in the chat earlier.
You
on
are
the live stream. That's fine. It's fine. You know? I mean, I kind of outed myself already as having the as having the Trey Turner uniform on. as we
Jacob's only
speak, but
saying that because he's a Braves fan. I don't think he'd be calling you out otherwise.
It's fine. But for real though, big milestone win for the Phillies. They set a franchise record 19 wins in the month of April.
Dang.
Coming into today, they're 20-11, which is the 4th best record in all of baseball, and their best start through 31 games since 2011.
Really?
2011, that was Cardinals World Series year, wasn't it? They were the NL rep that year.
Phillies were 08 and 09.
08, yeah.
From what it looks like, and I haven't been able to watch much or see much. The two names that stick out to me the most, Ranger Suarez has been ridiculous. Love that on my fantasy team. Braves fans back in the chat. And Alec Boehm, who, like, let's be honest, we've been kind of waiting for him to be like, when are you going to blossom into what the Phillies organization has been pumping you up to be, right? Because we've been hearing about this a lot. Like, we've been hearing his name. We've heard of, like, I hate it here, and then, like, now I'm buying in, and, like, he was a good role player, kind of filling in the gaps, like, good 6 through 9 guy in the lineup that, like, turns it over. All of a sudden, dude spaced out the stance a little bit, simplified things a little bit. I think he's put on some LBs a little bit.
I'm telling you, man, this is a physical Alec Boehm. I
Yeah.
love it, dude. He's playing with like a little bit of an edge to him now. Like I know the aforementioned incident, like I hate it here. That was a different kind of edge. That was more of like a pouty, like,
yeah.
I'm still kind of young here, but the edge now that he has, I feel like is much more of like a
I could
hard
be the
nosed,
dude.
yeah, like a Bryce Harper hard nosed kind of edge to him, and
Yeah.
I'm starting to see little glimpses of that when I'm watching him, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the rest of the division better watch out. This dude is blossoming into his own, and I'm absolutely here for it. I got some numbers on him. Well, he was last week's NL Player of the Week, so he is certainly getting the attention he deserves. Last week he went 17 for 30 with a homer, 8 ribbies, and slugged .933 in 7 games last week. Entering today, let's see. The Phillies are playing. Entering today, he had a 14-game hitting streak. Let's see. Phillies Angels. Did he snag a hit today, or did it end?
I went 1 for 4 today. So it continues.
Look at that.
Playing
So
the Angels.
a 15-game hitting streak entering tomorrow, Thursday. John Clark on Twitter said Alec Boehm had 28 ribbies in April, passing Ryan Howard for the most ever by a Phillies player in the month of April. Alec is now coming into today, hitting .366, second best in baseball. His 30 RBIs are 1 behind the major league lead.
That's what I mean, dude. Like that's what the Phillies need. You need the Bohms, you need the Stotts to kind of like, you have your older superstars in like Real Muto, Harper, Schwarber. Like they're gonna start phasing into the veteran, category. You got to have your youth that comes in and starts being the dudes. It's cool to see. I like Bohm. I like watching him play. So
Especially in the absence of fully performing Bryce Harper, because Bryce is he's dragging a little bit.
Out. Yeah. Schwarber's doing Schwarber stuff, no average, a lot of home runs.
I'm getting mocked for my comment about the Phillies and the rest of the division watching out for the Phillies. All I would like to say to Braves fans is, look, I'm not a Phillies fan. I've admitted that I've gotten dangerously close to becoming a quasi-Phillies fan. But as a non-Phillies fan, can I just say something to Braves fans? Maybe, just maybe, do something against this team that you
when it counts
seemingly care so little about when it actually counts. How about that? Let's start there, Braves fans. Let's do something in the postseason against these guys one time, huh? How about it? Let's actually make this a rivalry, because right now they got the hand around your throats in the postseason. So let's dial it back. You can run around with your division titles all you want, but my goodness, does the buck stop there? It seems. Wow, unreal. Anyway. Hey, I just don't like getting accused or mocked for my takes that are very objectively true when it comes to these two teams. I've never understood why I get so much hate for it.
Braves fans are their own beast.
I'm telling you, man. One other note here about the Phillies that I wanted to mention. An interesting dynamic is brewing in their rotation. Taijuan Walker just came back. Spencer Turnbull, however, has been fantastic to start the year. 32 innings pitched, only 17 hits allowed, 5 earned runs, 10 walks to 36 strikeouts. He's got an ERA of 1.39 and a whip of .80. I believe that I read that Rob Thompson is going to let this 6-man rotation ride out for the next week or so, week plus, to give some of his frontline guys an extra day of rest here or there. But that I think the plan is to push Turnbull to the pen, which personally I think is a big mistake.
I think it is too.
And I talked
think
about
it
this
is too.
last episode when I was sitting there talking with myself, myself, and I. And I said that you gotta let the iron strike while it's hot. Like
Yeah.
you gotta ride this hot hand. And Spencer Turnbull has been one of the better pitchers in not just the division, not just the National League, but all of baseball.
I think you ride this out until the inevitable injury happens, or the inevitable slump, if you will, for a pitcher happens. You got to. I mean, look what Ranger Suarez is doing. I mean, like last 3 starts, 9 innings, 7 innings, 8 innings, like 1 earned run over that. 1 earned run over the last 4 starts. I mean, like let him cook. Let him cook. Don't mess with things. Because you know this, like, baseball's baseball. Someone's gonna get beat up a little bit. One of your starters could go an inning and a third, and then you have to blow your bullpen out for the rest of the game. And like, you need the rotation to do this. So I think baseball's probably leaning towards a 6-man rotation as is. I think it makes more sense, especially with how we're not getting longevity out of starters. Like I would take 25 starts out of every guy in my rotation over 1 or 2 guys making 33, 34 starts. Like give me a full rotation and figure out your routines. Stop being so weird, POs. Stop being like so strict with your following your schedule. Like relax. Go back to being an athlete. Go back to being okay taking an extra day off. And let this rotation do what it's doing. I'm not saying every team in baseball needs to do this, but like, I don't know. Philly Rob needs to have a finger on the pulse here. Understand what's good. Don't mess with Turnbull, dude. Don't mess with that. Let him cook.
Let him cook. Speaking of cooking, the Twins. What did you say earlier that they're on right now? They're on a
twin streak.
They're on a twin streak.
Yeah.
10 in a row after today. I think they beat the White Sox. Yeah, they beat the White Sox today in a getaway day. 10 in a row for them. Their record now stands at 17-13. It's their longest winning streak since 2008. It's their 8th double-digit win streak in the franchise history.
Did I see that?
Yes, you did see it. You did see it. I know exactly what you're saying. It's the
AL
sausage.
Central?
Oh, no. We're not talking about something. I thought you were talking about the home run sausage, and I was like, well, we need to get into that. But yeah.
I heard about it. I didn't see anything. Ugh.
You don't want to
Weird.
see anything. It's
I don't think I do
as
either.
weird as it sounds.
Yeah.
What about the AL Central?
I thought it was like the AL Central is the only division in baseball that has every team over 500.
Dude, the AL Central, I saw that before I hopped on. The AL Central is
We've been
cooking right
dogging.
now.
We've been dogging on it for years.
For good reason, man. I mean, they're historically have been garbage. Let's see here. Central. Well, no, not every team over 500 because the White Sox are in the Central, but the 4 teams above the White Sox are cooking. The Twins are set in 4th at 17-13. The Guardians, you want to talk about cooking, 19-10. They're knocking on the door at 20 wins. The Royals, as we've talked about, have been playing fantastic. And the Tigers quietly at an 18-13 entering Wednesday.
Who's the top 4 team?
Possibly
I don't know.
post. Did they play
I saw something about
tonight?
the AL Central.
Yeah,
I
I
saw
mean,
something.
even the mighty AL East, the Red Sox are the bottom team over 500 at 18-13. The 2 teams below them, Jays are 15-17, Rays are 14-18. Again, this is all as games are going on, so things could change. But a noticeably deeper division for the Central right now than the AL East. Worth noting.
I'm impressed. Did I see that Buxton tweaked something today?
Yep.
Yesterday?
No, it was today, and weirdly enough, as he's walking off the field, getting chirped by the umpire, I believe,
Wild.
telling him to hurry off the field. Like, come on, man, have some feel,
Yeah.
understand the game a little bit.
Some of these guys, man.
I get it. He's just trying to push this conspiracy along, the umpire conspiracy that's been well documented on this podcast. He's just trying to get his paycheck. I get it. He's trying to get the buyout.
What's wild is that I think I saw something on Twitter that was like from the Twins page. That was like Buxton's back. Our star is back in center field, or and not like 10 hours later, my man's limping off the field.
Injuries are aplenty in the early stages of this 2024 season.
Poor guy.
I mentioned before we hopped on, I have seven players on my fantasy team on the IL.
Yeah, drop him.
We only have 4 slots for the IL, so I've got 3 bench players that aren't coming back anytime soon. So that's fun. But yeah, man, the Twins have been cooking. They started. Let me see if I got the numbers here. They started 7-13. So
yeah,
they
need it.
Well, yeah, basic math would tell you if they're 17-13.
There you go.
And they've won 10 straight.
There you go. Good for you.
That would tell you that they started 7-13.
Good for you.
I got there eventually. Just took me a little longer than maybe a Division I scholar athlete would have. It would have taken them. It's fine.
Sure. Hey, I went to a junior college, so I'm not doing any math.
You're just not doing math at all. I get it. Rays City Connects. I kind of alluded to it. I'm kind of there, man. I'm kind of there.
Really? I'm glad because I'm not.
Because I'm not. No, yeah, I'm definitely. Definitely a strong word. I'm there. It took me a minute, but I got there. Just like with my AL Central math, it took me a minute, but I got there.
Think so?
Yeah. Well, I'm well past the point of caring about these like graphite gray black jerseys. I'm done with those.
Yeah,
like, give me something different. But everything, you take away the color of the jerseys themselves, which, by the way, I'm catching a lot of heat in the comments about how I'm not seeing the vibrancy of these jerseys. People are going, well, do you not see like the neon and the blue? The whole uniform is gray. What are we? Yes, neon accents, blue accents, purple accents. The uniform from head to toe is gray. It literally says in their promo video, some official video that I saw breaking down the uniforms, it's like the gray is supposed to represent a sun-kissed black shirt that's been out in the Florida sun. Cool. Like, that I get it. I've been out in the sun in Florida when it's hot and I'm wearing a black shirt. I get what that's like. I don't live that day to day.
Are they saying like the shirt was supposed to be a light gray and then it's how much you sweat when you're in Florida in the summer and then it just becomes a dark gray? Was that what they were trying to say?
It's possible. We could take many routes for this, but I think the original idea was that it was supposed to be black and then it was supposed to be kissed by the sun.
Did the flames on the letters not give you like Too Fast, Too Furious vibes?
No, they give me, and I will die on this hill, they give me 1990s Hot Wheel vibes.
I loved me some Hot Wheels.
I love me some Hot Wheels, but in the 1990s, not on 2024 City Connects. But I'm going to get the negatives out of the way.
I like the hat.
Oh my goodness. Can we please talk about this hat? That's got to be.
I like the hat.
That's got to be at the near or at the top of the list. That is incredible.
Yeah.
I want to shake the hand of the design artist that created that, because that is chef's kiss. What's it called? I wrote down the name because it sounded funny. What is it? What is it called? The Sunshine Skyway Bridge. They took the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and combined it with a ray, and it looks just.
Wait, is that what that is?
Yeah. If you look at it a little closer, it's supposed to be
Oh.
the bridge.
I see what you're saying.
Which
Like the 2 points.
I believe I've been on that bridge a time or two. Yeah.
Sure.
And then it's supposed to be like a ray. And then the skateboard. Did you see this?
Yeah, where is that? I don't. Is that somewhere on there?
It's on the like thigh, like under the belt, I believe.
Dang, I would be down for that on the hat, to be
Dude.
honest.
I saw a post floating around where it was some folks trying to come up with like names for the skateboarder. I saw hold on. I want to pull up the full list because it was hilarious. One of them,
The fact that you placed Hot Wheels font has never been more perfect. It's been the best thing you've said. Incredible.
Thank you. It was very, very apt analysis there. Evan Longoria, Fred McTwist.
Yes.
I swear there was another one. I saw Tropicana heel flip. Help me with that one.
Ooh.
I'm not getting that.
The heel flip?
No, I know the heel flip and I know Tropicana, but what's the pun there?
Heel field. It's the only thing I can think.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something there and that's on me, but the two before that were, I mean, that's top tier. As I scrolled past the tweet
Evan
that said,
Longoria is
I literally just scrolled past the tweet. Evan Longoria is top tier. Yeah, I mean, it's
sick.
Fred McTwist. I'm so about that. And honestly, if they weren't an interdivision team, I would absolutely get that hat. That was the other one. Not Fred McTwist, but Shred McGriff. I mean, come on, Skate Ray. I love it. Yeah, man. The branding with this, they nailed it. They hit it out of the park. You just take away like the graphite jerseys and do something else with them.
Right. That's all. That's their only complaint.
Oh my gosh, man.
They keep rolling those out there, but
like give me a purple jersey.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I won't go as far as to say like head to toe purple uniform, but like give me purple top, white pants, and that is without question the best City Connect, hands down. But you're kind of teetering with the overused gray at this point.
Yeah, a lot of gray, a lot of dark gray.
But I will. Hey, we're all about transparency here. We've dragged Nike a good bit, and for good reason. But I think with this one, they got back to connecting with the city a little bit. I feel like I learned a lot about the skate culture in the Tampa area, the Tampa Bay area.
Perfect.
So I'm all about it.
Connecting the city.
And
crazy thought.
That's pretty wild. And there was they've got the St. Pete Pelican on there, which I think is really cool. And then behind the Pelican logo, they've got an ode to the three palms, which I guess is I'm not a Tampa Bay guy, but I think that's pretty significant. There's some
palm trees.
No, it says specifically like three palms. I think it's I'm seeing a picture of a historical sign, like a historical site sign, and it has like three palms on it. So I think there's some historical significance there, which I think is cool. And then they've got the sunbeam eye for the Pelican, which is also cool. So, you know, I think they got back to their connecting roots with this one. So credit to Nike.
Have they rocked them yet?
Oh yeah. No. I was thinking of the Mets. The Mets have seemingly worn them like every night. Their City Connects, but these, I want to say May 5th, May 3rd to May 5th. They're wearing them all weekend.
Cinco de Mayo. Okay.
That's Rookie's birthday, by the way. Just a little,
there we go.
Little plug.
Me and Rook back to back like that. That's big time.
A little plug for the pup and for Nate. Closing the book here, Ellie De La Cruz.
Goodness.
Criminally underrated at this point, it seems. He's off to quite the start. First player in Major League history with 8+ homers and 17 stolen bases in a calendar month since 1901.
He also threw a ball like 200 miles an hour.
He did. And I think
incredibly unnecessary, but hey, you do you, dog. If you got that, let it eat.
I mean, I think the result of the play spoke to how fast he threw that ball. But
First
you
baseman
know,
was like, what the hell? Like 45 feet away from me. Why?
He's like, why am I being fed this out of a jugs machine right now? This makes no sense. No, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, like the stat, the 8 home runs and the 17 stolen bases seems very like ESPN type stat, but
Yeah,
it's
a little bit.
It's noteworthy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Solid.
having a great start to the year. I saw a note about his 162 game pace entering Wednesday. He's on pace for 43 home runs, 102 ribbies, 145 runs scored, and 97 stolen bases.
Decent.
Not half bad.
Yeah.
Not half bad.
Pretty decent.
Grayson Rodriguez on the shelf, 15-day IL to be exact, with shoulder inflammation.
So weird.
A little bit of a
Guys.
blow.
Diced up the Yankees and then was like, kind of hurting.
I don't get it. Speaking of O's and Yankees, can we just real quick talk about this Juan Soto stare down? Give me a break, dude. We just hit May. We just hit May, Nate, and your Yankees are having to manufacture chips for their shoulders.
Soto does what Soto wants.
It's May. Nah, man. Look, I've referenced some soul searching in this episode. I did it with Juan Soto too, and I came to the conclusion that
You came to the conclusion that it only took a month for you to start throwing out some Soto slander.
yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, in like by default, I was already anti Soto coming into the season, but it was a very passive anti. Like I'm like I love Juan Soto, but I can't. I just simply the rules of baseball, the rules of nature, of physics, of science, of chemistry say that I'm not allowed to like Juan Soto, so it's fine. I'm just gonna kind of like Homer Simpson, and I'm gonna kind of just like fall back into the bush. But this kind of, I kind of popped back out of the bush for this one. I mean, dude, it's May. We just hit May, and you're making up things that were never said. I guarantee you, I had so many Orioles people like hit me up in the message being like, dude, Dean Kramer doesn't care. Like Dean Kramer's just gonna go out. He was talking about in an interview unrelated to this. But he was talking about how he just wants to be an innings eater guy. He just wants to go out there and throw the baseball. You're telling me a guy like that's going to care about something that Juan Soto has literally been doing since at least 5 years, maybe 6.
I don't care.
Nobody cares about that anymore.
Yeah.
That would be like somebody on the Red Sox being upset by Gary Sheffield doing his bat wiggle. It's like, that's just what he does.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like
And he's been doing it for a long time.
at first I thought it was kind of like a show thing. I can see why he's doing it. Like he leaves his hips, he leaves his legs on those takes. So like, that's what he's like reminding himself. That's why he like punches his hip. I think it's just to like stay in it longer through the pitch. Or he was saying he stayed in it and that's what the shuffle means. I don't know. But either way, like I don't care. Soto does what Soto wants. Do whatever you want. I like that he has attitude. I like that this like the Yankees have been like the last few years, just like if they're losing, they're just pouty and they're all miserable and they're all like, no one wants to get them fired up. No one wants to like try and compete. It's just when you're miserable, and everyone wants to drown at the same time. Juan Soto's like, nah, bro, like I'm here. I'm going to give attitude. I'm going to give my best every day. I'm here for it. Do you, Soto? Do you, dog? You want to manufacture issues, manufacture narratives?
No.
Do whatever you need.
Nope.
Do whatever you need. Clap it up.
Nope. I will not allow it. I will not allow this discourse to continue. Manufacture stuff if you need to. No. Just be good at baseball because you are. Look, that says a lot about your franchise if your star players, aside from Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and the like, if they need to be motivated by a guy making up something that a pitcher never said about him in response to something that he did.
No, we don't know.
Come on.
I don't know, and I don't care. The fact is, I like some attitude. That's like, look at the names that have succeeded. Look at the change in the way they're acting. Verdugo and Soto have attitude. And like, that's what this roster's been missing. This is what the lineup's been missing. It's like this chip on the shoulder. Like it hasn't been there. So I'm here for it. I'm cool with it. Play with a little flavor. The ball absolutely got nuked too. So like, that was a sick bat flip. Give me some credit on the back flip.
He said he stared at Dean Kramer because he, quote, didn't like the shuffle. And then he responded, I bet he didn't like the homer too. To which Orioles fans responded, I bet Juan Soto probably didn't like the L that was handed to him that game either. So like, we could play this game all day.
But if you go back and forth, 100%.
If you're Juan Soto, just do what you do and mash baseballs and take your occasional walk or your more than occasional
alpha.
walk.
No, he's just got alpha mentality, baby.
That's not alpha mentality.
Oh,
alpha
it is.
No.
He stares at every pitcher. He stares at every single pitcher. Yes,
absolutely not. No, this is not a bit. I had this thought when I was thinking. No, when this all went down, my mind immediately went to that very point that you just made about how people, this is a dog. He's a dog. He's an alpha. No, an alpha. And I went back and watched the clip just to confirm that he wasn't pulling any shenanigans running down to first base. The home run that he hit off Justin Verlander, and I understand the bat drop and all that, but I'm talking about like any stare downs or like popping chains, whatever. He literally, how old was he for that at bat against Verlander in the World Series? Was he 20?
22, 21.
I think he was like 21, maybe.
Yeah.
Off of Justin Verlander in the World Series, watches it, drops his bat, and runs around the bases. He's going backwards. Like, that should be what you're doing now. Like, give me the theatrics in the World Series when you're like fresh out of the womb. I understand that, but the manufacturing chips on your shoulders at the end of April, no, it's not alpha mentality.
That's an alpha. You know he's an alpha.
No,
that man is an alpha. And I'm telling you,
he has it.
I've watched him since he's come over, and I'm telling you, he stares at guys. He stares at guys before an at-bat. He stares at guys in between pitches. He stares at guys after strikes, after balls, after takes, after swings and misses, after foul tips. He stares at them. He is constantly seeking eye contact. They talk about certain pitchers that would stare people down. Bob Gibson, Roger Clemens. They would stare at guys. And they know that like hitters that don't look back aren't alphas. Juan Soto's an alpha, and he's going to stare at everybody. And he's more of an alpha now because he's definitely smack dab in the middle of his prime. So this isn't new. This is Juan Soto.
Okay.
You're just not on board now. You're just not on board now because of the pinstripes. And that's okay.
No, jokes aside, take the Yankees Red Sox thing out of it. I wholeheartedly stand by my take of what he did in the World Series 5 years ago was far more alpha than the nonsense he pulled in Baltimore. Far more alpha. And I stand by that. So I'm gonna end my take there. Went a little deeper than I thought we would. That was its own topic, but we continue to weekend series to watch as we wrap up here. My weekend series to watch: Rangers and the Royals. Standings wise, the Rangers 16 and 14 seems to be right there in the middle of the pack in terms of the American League. But playing on the road in Kansas City, which, as we mentioned, they've been playing some fantastic ball. Dropped a series to the Tigers, which you don't love to see over the weekend, but they're still holding it down. Game 1, you got Michael Lorenzen versus Brady Singer, 7:40 p.m. Eastern. No. Yes. I think these are Eastern. Double check me. Game 2, Dane Dunning versus Michael Waka. That's 7:10. And John Gray, Game 3 versus Undecided, 2:10.
You know, I'm just realizing. Oh, no, it's in. We're good.
Juan Soto's a beta?
Alpha. Give me. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not that far of a stretch to say a potential NLCS preview. Give me the Braves in Los Angeles.
Well, not if they match up with Philly at any point.
We got Charlie Morton going game 1 against Gavin Stone. Bryce Elder going against Tyler Glasnow, game 2. That's Saturday. And Sunday, the lefties are going. It's a 1 o'clock game in the afternoon. Max Fried against James Paxton. So pretty decent matchup there. Obviously, both leading the division. Both hovering around 20 wins. The typical Braves Dodgers mentality activity season so far. What do you got? What are you looking up?
I'm seeing all this. Sorry, no, I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm seeing all this stuff about a Pete Alonso play at home. Are you seeing this?
Please hold.
If you just pull up Pete Alonso on Twitter, apparently it was a rather controversial call to end the game.
Gimme. Oh, more Mets just complaining about base running stuff when they're actually messing up.
Well, apparently it was about like blocking the plate and whatnot. There's controversy surrounding that. Take the Mets out of it. I'm not going to sit here and rail on the Mets. The whole base path blocking fiasco this year, I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
So you can't even really give a fair take on this because nobody really knows what's going on.
Also, the Mets don't know how to run bases.
Well, it's Pete Alonso, so.
Yeah. I'm watching it again.
Yeah, I'm seeing an overhead shot.
It looked clean to me.
I'm seeing an overhead shot, and his foot is on the back part of the plate, and the front of the plate is wide open for Pete Alonso's taking. So yeah, 100%. I'm gonna go Cubs here.
Sorry, you don't know how to slide.
And that ball's like moderately deep left. Like this should not necessarily be.
The other day, by the way, there's never been more obvious of a call that you were in the base out of the base path, and obstruction made sense. Peter, thank you, Spencer. Good call. Peter polarizing, not the polar berries. Peter polarizing Alonso. Hate him or love him. I don't know too many people that love him though.
You got I meant to bring this up, or no, I'm glad that we're bringing this up is what I meant to say. While you were gone, a name was proposed.
Okay.
For our take segment.
Okay.
And I mean, I think in terms of branding, it just falls right in line. It was actually emailed to us. I read off the email submission like last episode or the one before. 3-0 green light.
Perfect.
I mean, I think with our 3-0 take, 3-0 change up, 3-0 green light, I think is the leader in the clubhouse.
Let it eat.
I didn't want to commit to it without talking.
I like it.
Talking with you first, but if we decide that that's the move, then we can maybe officially go with 3-0 green light to close out the episodes moving forward. So, with that said, do you have one in mind?
I do. It's not great. It's not anything that's new. I'm sure most of you agree. I'm all done with the green screen and the backstop stuff. Like I'm all done with the players looking like they're floating, where the ball disappears halfway through the pitch. I know it's been around a few years, but like, can we stop? Can we stop with the advertisements? Somewhere on the field, 1 square inch on this field can be left alone without any ads. Stop with the green screen crap. I'm done with stuff disappearing, and I'm done with floating heads. It doesn't look good. The main camera, the center field view, is what we look at for 90% of the game. I don't want to stare at that crap. Find a different way, but the green screen's got to go.
Hey, well said. They got him on the hitter's eyes when they pan out to the outfield. It's just everywhere.
Yeah. Over it. Hate it. Done. You got anything for me?
I wasn't feeling particularly spicy coming in today's episode. You know, things are good. And I feel like I just put all my energy into that Juan Soto Alpha conversation. So I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Sure.
But it wasn't so much a rant. It was more of a question. Speaking about the Mets, I'm not sure if you saw, but they had the dollar dog night the other night and sold.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I get the number right here. I believe it was 44,000.
What?
Mets say, from Anthony DeComo on Twitter, breaking, the Mets say they set a Citi Field record with 44,269 hot dogs sold on Dollar Dog Night. And so I kind of want to just close out the episode by asking you how many, say Dollar Dog Night was this coming weekend.
Sure.
And you were going to mentally prepare for it. How many dollar dogs do you think you can put down in a 9-inning game?
Fresh off the cruise, dude, I have not been able to shut it down. Your boy is just eating everything in sight still. Are beers included? Because like beer's kind of filling. Or if I just go dogs.
Well, that begs the question. Like, should we entertain the? Isn't there like a name for it? Where it's like the 9, or it's like the 999. It's like the 9.
Oh,
that's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
9 dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings. If you want to answer that, be more than glad. Or like, if you think you'd be capable of doing that. But I was more so asking. That seems like a lot. That seems like a lot.
Too much. Maybe a few years ago, not today. I could probably throw back in a 9-inning span. I could throw back. If I was only eating that, not drinking anything, not eating anything else, I could do 6 dogs.
6 dogs. Okay.
I could do 6. And we're talking like the normal ones, right? Not like the crazy.
Not the D-back dogs.
Right. And I would rotate, I think. I would go ketchup on one. I would go plain on one. I would go mustard and relish on one. I would play with it.
Before we close out here, quick question. Because I saw Ryan and his crew talking about it on their show. Raw dog and a hot dog. Can you do it?
Sure. 100%. Absolutely.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely camp raw dog on a hot dog.
Yeah. Fire me up.
Ketchup's like a bonus at that point. Like,
yeah. And to be honest, like I don't like most ketchups are too sugary for me. So
that's fair.
You know?
All right, let's close it out with some hot dog talk. Let's get out of here. You got anything for the folks?
Good to be back. Good to be back.
We went deep. We went deep. But
we did. Speaking of eating, though, I gotta go eat some dinner. So
yeah, you've had a long day.
Yeah. Don't go chasing curveballs, everybody.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.